Festy Hub Podcast.
Yo, what's going on, my fellow revelers? Welcome back to another episode of the Festy Hub Podcast. My name is Manny, aka Frisky Hug, and for today's special guest, we have PLSMA. PLSMA is a Tampa local producer DJ. Honestly, he knows a lot of people, so we got a lot of similar friends. First time I bumped into him was actually in Orlando, though, and then we realized we were like, wow, we got the same kind of friends. Let's do a podcast just a one-on-one. If you guys are keeping up with Blunts and Blondes, he's actually on the lineup for Blunts and Blondes tour this year. So if you're all Blunts and Blondes, you'll see the dates and stuff. And I think he's got a couple of those dates lined up to play with him. But this episode, there wasn't really an agenda for this one. I was kind of just picking his brain and just getting a lot of opinions out of him. But that's kind of it for that. As for life updates and stuff like that, I don't really have anything really crazy. I know I have the Drink Your Water and Zuba show next weekend. And then also for PLSMA, he just released a track 2 days ago, if you're watching this when this releases. So this last Thursday, he just released a track. Look at the description down below. Should have a little link for either the SoundCloud or Spotify, depending on where he released it on. And then I got Imagine Music Festival. So if you are going to that, come through. I am doing a meetup. We also got the fashion show on Saturday. More details on both of those, the meetup. So we're going to do an official Radiate meetup, and then we're going to be handing out tons of goodies, tons of merch and stuff like that. And then the fashion show, all are welcome. And it'll be probably after the pool party on Saturday. I think Cascade's playing that. But okay, that's it for the intro for the podcast. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoy it. All right. So I'd like to welcome PLSMA to the Festy Hub Podcast. Great having you, man. Good, man. So me and PLSMA actually first met at the Ruvlo show over here in Orlando, and there was a lot of people actually backstage there. And we did a little get to know.
That Ace Cafe is big, bro.
Dude, I didn't know.
A warehouse backstage.
I didn't know it was that big because when I went there last time, it was the drive-in rave, so I just knew about the parking lot. I never knew about the inside, and then you have the whole green room area that we were all hanging out with. That's a whole different thing that they have going on. I didn't even know about, and I was like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's a cool spot. That was the first time I ever saw something inside, though.
Oh shit.
Usually I was used to the parking raves.
Yeah, okay, so I'm in the same boat, and I was like, this is pretty nice. And then we had a lot of homies that came by. It was a lot of people back there. I posted up a little podcast area, had 4 mics, and we all just kind of chit chatted, and
well, that's the thing. I'm only an hour and a half away, so I don't even have to call anybody. And I can just go, I could show up there, and you'll automatically just know people. You just know, if it's a Sunday event or something, that everybody, you're always gonna mesh with somebody that's going out and getting belligerent on a Sunday or something,
So PLSMA, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a producer from Tampa, Florida. I grew up in New York. I moved here when I was 12, 13. It was a weird age. I didn't really understand Florida because you needed cars to do shit. And in New York, I was so bro, there was a 7-Eleven 2 blocks from my house. I was 6 walking to 7-Eleven. So
it's very rare to be a New Yorker and ever think about just having a car. It's just so expensive, And
then the cost of living is so different that when my parents moved here, they were able to build a house and get the best amenities, but everything's in a cookie cutter neighborhood behind a gate, and it's I don't know, it didn't make sense to me until I started growing up a little bit and going out to raves and clubs and stuff.
When did you start when did you start raving?
Late, but I got into music earlier because I was a huge hip hop junkie.
Okay.
I loved hip hop music. I loved in my era, I graduated in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to a lot of Wiz Khalifa and shit, and Mac Miller was popping. I was waiting on datpiff.com for mixtapes and shit.
Were you ever making hip hop music beforehand, or did you start with EDM?
Well, what had happened was, the reality of it is that where I grew up in New York, it was like, it just happened to be where I was. It was like predominantly white.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved down here, my school was predominantly black. So I'm a small structured person, so I gotta fit in, you know? So I started like taking like Bic pens, and I just started like, I was a fidgety kid. So like I just like started making rhythms and stuff. And next thing you know, I'm like replicating beats like on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like we have a Wednesday designated to freestyle sessions with White Boy Mike. And that was where I was like, all right, this is cool. Like this gives you like an adrenaline rush. It was like light, but I didn't really get that like adrenaline rush
Mm-hmm.
until I was hitting raves at like 18.
I mean, that's not late. I mean, that's I think it's late for some people, but honestly, I started like listening to EDM and raving when I was like 20, 21. You know, I didn't really, so,
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who are like, they're in their late 20s, bro, and they're just getting into it. Like it's just like, you don't know about these things unless you like know somebody that already does it, or, you know, it's like, how do you really find out? Like, some people, like, how do you not, for me, it's like, how do you not know there's a whole ass festival going on in your backyard, you
Yeah.
know, to us, but to some people, they're like, why would I be out there like just randomly, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Absolutely.
what's one of the like the first festivals that you decided to go to when you first got your feet wet?
The first one I went to was Sunset Music Festival. It was
It's a lot of
2013.
people's like, it's a very easy one to make your first one. You know, it's small enough yet a little big, so you can, you know, you get like kind of,
Well, back then it was 2 days, and like dude, this was like the Carnage outbreak. This is like Carnage Festival Trap era. And like it wasn't weird to hear some like hard style or like sub focus or something. Like it was like it was a really like diverse. I didn't know these people at that time.
yeah,
I just knew like a handful that my friends were like shouting out. And I was still like kind of learning. And the culture of it was just like I went to rap shows, and like I said, small structured person,
hmm,
bro. I would go to rap shows and like people just disrespect each other. Like it's
yeah.
just so fucking whack and weird. But like
It's like part of that culture, though, I feel.
yeah, I mean it's like, but people are that's like being oversensitive in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's like you can just chill in your own lane and not get into fights and put people through glass windows and shit. But like at raves, it was just like I feel like people were aimed towards giving you your space, and like everybody kind of had something that you could learn from. So like the candy bracelets and
Yeah.
like the whole culture behind it and stuff. Like you pick up all these like things, and it's like you're picking pieces of like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory book for a music festival.
Yeah, dude, it's huge.
Like just
Like the,
information just coming at you at all times. You're like, why the fuck is this person have a binky in their mouth? And
yeah,
you're like a pacifier. But
I mean, starting off, dude, you have like a million questions. I'm just like, oh, for it, how do
yeah.
you like? Who answers all these fucking questions for you? Because like, there's no way, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I got glued to it, not even from the festival, just going to the amphitheater, a club
Mm,
that burned down in Tampa like a few years back. And that was like our like that was a really great place, but they had like a Friday night and a Saturday night. Friday night was with Nerd Rage,
mm,
and then Saturday night was this dude named Doko, and they were like more like Big Room House, and like around that time that's how it was. But I would go into the Friday nights, and I would hear all the aggressive shit with Nerd Rage hitting over like some dubstep, and I was like, oh, I've seen Skrillex on MTV. Like I know what's up, Sonny Moore. I listen to hard post hardcore. And then like I started like putting it together, and I was just like, oh, people are like fucking with this. Like they're moving into it from
mm,
other shit. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. That's kind of like my situation, and I wanted to do something a little different. So I was like, this guy was performing up there. He was the fucking man controlling a whole like room. And I was like, that's something that I just like I had never felt that adrenaline rush in my life. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to make that kind of music.
yeah, I want to do that.
But a lot of people veer off, and they're like, I want to learn those CDJs. Like I
Hmm.
was just so glued to like putting puzzle pieces together. That's what I call making music,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, making music. Yeah,
Yeah.
that there's always that different mindset though. It's always like, eventually you become really good at both, but it's like people always decide, do I want to focus my energy on becoming a great DJ, or do I want to focus my energy on making great music, And it's like, have you ever had that dilemma where you're like trying to figure out what to like focus on first?
Yeah, later in time though. Like when it came to like first starting to learn how to make it, you have to jump through obstacles. Like I was never a school person, but you go there to like make your family happy and make it seem like you're trying, even though like you're still trying to figure out what the hell you want to do. And I was going to like a little state college over here, and I would literally rent out the study rooms by the hour because I worked a lot. So I was just like renting out the study rooms like almost every day, skipping the class and sitting there and learning how to make music. And
Sorry.
then I'd go home and I'd write a tune. But I felt like if I was in the environment of learning, I would fucking want to learn. And it worked. It's just like it's just the addiction. Like if you don't have an addiction for it, like don't even try to grow them. Because it's like I wouldn't try to grow an addiction, but like just do what feels like natural to you then. Like start messing around with different stuff as opposed to looking at YouTube videos and learning about like how to get a press release and stuff like that. Like if music's spiritual to you, you can even give to your friends and bounce off of them. If they know how to do something, they show you how to do something, you pick up little tricks. Next thing you know, like you could be a natural.
Yeah, I think it all has to do with like how passionate are you, if you're passionate about something, then you want to keep, venturing out, doing more on that topic. But it's like, I feel like if you're not passionate about what you're doing later on in life, it's gonna turn into a job, a job that you don't really want to keep doing anymore. It's like, people.
I mean, it felt like a job for me for a while now, just because not even like profit wise, just like the energy and focus towards it, trying to balance stuff that actually like impacts your life. Like having a regular job and paying bills and doing stuff like that, but also like trying to get a leg up by going to network and like spending a lot of money, or like buying speakers when you didn't need to buy speakers, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean,
the addiction will send you through so many different teeter-totters. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like it really sucks like spending that money too on like things that you don't really need. I mean, I know I've invested so much money on stuff that isn't giving me a return yet. You know what I mean? But it's like it's all part of the progress. It's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make me money anytime soon or even now. But like, I know that like everything that we're doing will eventually lead you to something greater, right? And you just have to believe in the plan. Hopefully the plan works out.
But also it's like veering off the plan has been like the main thing for me. Like when I was going in and I was like trying to I would learn by like copying people's music and stuff. And I would just I would try to like mimic them, but it wasn't until I went like off course and try to do something that like no one does.
Yeah.
I'd be like put a kick there as opposed to put a snare there, or some weird stuff like that. But if you repetitively do it, like you can kind of create that vibe with your sound, and that's how you only know how to make music now, like yourself. So like even if you're working with your buddy or something and you go to his computer, you're doing stuff, he's gonna be like, why the hell did you do that? And you're like, I don't know, bro. It's just like a natural, like
just
that's your sound. It's your mechanics. Like it's not even just your sound, it's like the mechanics behind what you're doing, like how you're placing your ideas in. I teach a lot of lessons, so it's like one of those things I've been able to like dissect people's weaknesses with their production and like where they can improve, where they can take a little off. Like that's the main thing, because YouTube like is good and you can go to YouTube University, and that's where I was at.
Yeah.
Alumni. But
glad I graduated.
But yeah. No certificate. Needed, really. I mean, well, we about to do it big next year. It's gonna be fun. But with I don't know, man. It's just like it's just a wild trip.
What's like an advice you give somebody that just started producing just recently? I mean, you have years of experience. Based on that, like, what would be like a good advice for somebody who just started this year?
Embrace the suck. I tell everybody that. Like, if I see that they're like a novice, moderate person, I'm just gonna drill that into their skull. That's just how it needs to be. Like, you have to be really blunt with that and accept it up, like, in the back. Because I'd say I sucked for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Where I like sucked, like I couldn't get it. And then there's just like this one like week. I don't know what it is. There's one week where you learn something absolutely monumental for your process. And you can't really predict when it's going to happen, so you got to embrace the suck until you get to that like one day. And it's all simple. It's me in the process of learning it. I stacked so much into it thinking that it needed so much stuff because people are showing off their plugins online and stuff, when in reality, like, you barely need any of that to make a well-produced song, and a loud song at that.
I have a friend, she she just started off, and I'm very honest when she tells me, "Oh, do you think I did good? What do you think?" In your situation, were most of your friends pretty honest when you sucked? They were like, "Yeah, man, that's pretty bad," or like, "Hey, here's my advice for you." For like, how did that go with you when you're in your first year starting out?
It's weird because I had a closed like circle of like feedback. At first, like, it was just people that are kind of at the same level as you. So it's like what sounds good to them automatically already sounds like crap to you because you've just been working on it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel as good to you as it does to them when they hear it, if they like it, but if they're at like the same level. But then when I started like catching the drift a little bit and like really being able to like make some cool tracks, I started like getting in Xbox parties with like my friends and just playing COD until the wee hours of the night. And then in that process, like, we'd take breaks and we'd sit there and we just like play our music through the mic. At time at Kevin Flum, drink your water.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I wanted to work with him. I liked him as a rapper and I wanted to make beats for him. So like I found his gamer tag, I added him, I started playing with him. And then a month later he was just like, "Bro, you make music?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You got beats?" And I was like, "I got you." He didn't know I was like making 20 beats for him specifically. Yeah. So he heard him and he really liked him, and he recorded on him like the next week. And I thought it was really cool that all happened over like a gaming system. I thought it was next level, to be honest. Like, having fun, that's the most casual moment to like catch an artist in. And that's advice I'd give to somebody that's like making music but is trying to like take it into a business standpoint.
Yeah.
Play video games with people for a little bit. Sacrifice an hour out of your day.
Do you still play video games like now?
No.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say
Discord took over, bro. Because you can play video games, but you can also just hang with your friends
and just chat.
that aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then I can show my screen if I'm making a song. Like, Discord's great for this.
Yeah, I'm on Discord, I think, every single day. I'm on Discord probably, I think, more than most things, even more than Instagram, I think.
You got people doing crypto. You got people not even doing music shit in there.
Well, like, I'm on like because I do promotion stuff, so like I'm on promoter group chats there, and then I'm on like influencer group chats there, and then like I'm on the DJ Discords as well, and like it's just a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like I think that's probably the app on top of like Instagram, and Instagram probably like my second thing, but Discord has taken over. But like I remember a time when I had more time to play with friends on Xbox and shit, but like I don't know, man. Maybe my life's just been a little more hectic, but it's like, it just sometimes I find it hard to find that 1 hour these days.
Yeah, I don't even want to find the 1 hour, if I'm being really honest. Like, I would sit because I played so many video games when I moved here. Like, I was so isolated and I didn't have friends. So I played so many video games that like I got like emotionally attached to them. Like, I had like people from different countries that were like my regular homies. And like I did it so much that like when I became an adult, it like I got a job. I was a GM of a restaurant by the time I was 19. and I was like still pushing through. And I was getting out of video games a little bit because you get older, you start partying, you don't want to fucking log on and play Call of Duty hungover.
Well, you know, people start partying. I think we kind of party, but we're really just networking or hanging out with friends that we want to be friends with because we're all part of the same, you know, EDM world. You know what I mean?
I had to learn the right way. I mean, everybody goes through their like, I feel like learning stage where they just have to like almost set their own boundaries for themselves in a networking setting with the same things involved. It's like it's after a while, if you go to a lot of raves and that's like your thing, and you go out to nightclubs a lot and whatnot, like you can, if you feel like you can go and do that stuff and you can hold yourself up, I mean, if it loosens you up and makes you have better business, awesome. But if you're throwing like 50 cap shows, or like or you're an artist that's like not making music but they're like just DJing or something like that, like, and then you're walking in there all shitty and messed up, walking past like people that eventually you're gonna need to supply for your business. And I learned that several different, you know, mistakes and ways through the years, which is, but always keep your like close homies together, because especially doing business. Business is a lot. It tiptoes into a different thing. Like the art and the business, like it's impossible for them to like clash, but like there's problems in both areas.
I know it's I have always wondered because, well, like I'm not a DJ, so I always wondered like what that realm looks like, you know. One of my friends asked me there because I moved from Colorado, so I was in Colorado and moved here, and they're like, "Oh, what's like the difference, right?" And you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but like in Colorado, I feel like everyone is in their like 3-person clique, very small.
I've heard that,
but they're all and they're all kind of like against each other, almost like it's
competitive. Wait, why 3?
It's always 3. I don't know. It just always is. It's just like there's like a group of like 3 DJs at all times, and
maybe they're 3 DJs.
3 DJs, yeah, 3 DJs.
Oh, I thought you meant just like everybody in the city.
Oh, that'd be funny.
I've never been in Colorado,
because of Uber, probably. No.
Yeah.
In Colorado, I feel like it's just a little more competitive, right? Because everyone there's playing the same exact type of music, so it's so competitive.
It's all bass music.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Really? There's like no house music there?
Every once in a while, you'll start hearing a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like there's house music. Like, well, Red Rock should probably have Dom Dalla. I've probably seen one of the coolest videos, Dom Dalla playing that left, right. He crushed that. I was
like how like Fisher and Chris Lake just played right the other day. So like, but those are like very big like exception type days. Most of the times, dude, it's like it's just covered in bass music. You'll find like 4 or 5 like bass nights in one night, you know, and that's just how it is. And you have like maybe a one house like night like every other week, and it's just the way it goes in Colorado. So it's like I feel like every single time it's like the DJs are always like kind of like backstabbing each other at all times when like no one's looking. It's like at least that's how I felt, because like
it's like that everywhere.
Is it?
And I hate to break it to you. It's fucking whack to see, because like I don't want to say that it's all a big competition, but it's like where you choose to prioritize your time is so fucking crucial, because you can have people that like to go out and they like the social aspect of it. They like the empowerment of knowing a lot of people, or you got people that like to be entertainers that just like to be the limelight. And then you have people that are there hustling tickets, but like doing it like they're doing the most tickets and you would never expect. They're just some quirky kid with glasses or something. That's going to be your like next talent buyer kind of person. Then you got people like me and a few of my friends that produce around here. If we're walking around, we're kind of like the backbone of the production of everything. So when it comes down to like that, you'll always kind of have like a seated place as a respect holder if you just make cool stuff or make what you want. Even if you make crappy music, people are going to be like, holy shit, someone's trying to make music, thank God. Because people can get washed up in the CDJs, and then it takes into drinking on Tuesdays at random pubs, and it's just like how you prioritize your time is just the most crucial thing.
Dude. I was it's maybe it's because I haven't really been in, like, I just moved here, like, technically November. I just kind of like basically started here in February, so I'm very new to like the Florida scene. So I guess I haven't been like really like enveloped within the the Florida culture just yet here. But yeah, like in Colorado, it was always like, if like, let's say you aren't at the green room and you go and play, after your set, if you go and leave, people will be like, yeah, man, that he did this wrong. He did this wrong. Like, fuck him. I can't believe he even played today. Da, da, da. I'm like, wait a minute. You were just talking to him in person saying, hey, man, you're going to kill it out there. Like, you're fucking sick. You're fucking awesome. The motherfucker leaves. You're like, nah, he's lucky he got this spot. I would have gone this spot, but like, fuck him. Like, I'm like, wait, what? Like, it's so
those are ticking time bombs that are going to be sitting at cubicles in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's literally all there is to it. People like that will never catch a wave because they're too ignorant to catch the wave. So like they're always gonna work some other thing.
Or always be stuck doing the same thing, playing at somebody's basement every day until they finally realize that, like, hey man, like I can actually push for something bigger. I can be bigger. But it's like, why aren't you pushing yourself? Like, I think sometimes people are too afraid to be told no.
Yeah. I mean, especially when like, how old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay, so we're both up there in that kind of sense. I just turned 28 in June.
Okay.
So seeing how a 21-year-old moves through business and even like party politics, is very, very, very laughable sometimes, because they haven't experienced enough to like know their faults. So at the end of the day, you're always going to have people at that stage, but I guarantee you by the time they hit like 25 and they haven't learned how to produce yet, they're the ones working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Yeah.
And then they can't even backstab anyone anymore. They just like made it a drama filled so they can roast their coworker at Enterprise every morning at 7 a.m.
You know what it is? I think what it is I've just been I've like since I've been here, man, I have met nothing but just amazing DJs. I got to meet you. I got to meet Kevin. I got to meet Ruvlo. Cello, Bernzekiel, Butler. Just a lot of really cool dudes, and I haven't met like that side of where I came from yet. Maybe, and maybe that's why I'm just so like optimistic over like where the future of the Florida scene is actually headed. Because I'm all for it. I think it's like there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of like good talent here.
There is, and especially when people work together. Being on the back end of stuff and doing a lot of like mixing and mastering jobs and teaching people stuff, I like when people are like asking about their tunes if like there's somebody that I've taught in the past or something, because I like to see like how they're progressing. So here it's like no matter what, if you're making music, like you're gonna grow with the other people that are making music.
They're also making it, yeah. That's smart.
But that are also like addicted to it like you. Like they're like, yo, so maybe we should like skip guilt. And I don't know, if you order a pizza.
Yeah, it's not always
swallow Adderall, make some music. Like that's like little sacrifices that add up so much over time.
And sometimes even you don't even have to like network or hang out with your friends. Sometimes honestly, take a mental break. Sometimes you just need to just relax and just give up everything for a little bit, man. I know we all go through our little breaks. I go through my breaks all the time, man. I'm just like, nothing's more important to me than making sure that I can last long, because like Like if you keep pushing so hard in this game, you're gonna get burnt out. So for me, what's important is like mentally, I need to make sure that I'm like taking these like small breaks, and I'm able to just kind of like keep going as long as I can, for however
Yeah.
I can. Because I don't know how it is with making music, man, but like after a while, my mind can only take so much of like doing the same things over and over again.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like right now, I work in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't work in a bar. I work in a restaurant, a bar at a restaurant. And for a while back, like right after COVID, well, whatever existed for COVID here,
Mm-hmm.
because COVID was like a 3 month stretch here, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
I don't.
everybody was
Yeah,
flying here and
I was
then
flying.
going back home.
I was flying.
Everybody was flying here and then going home and judging Florida.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, that was me.
so wild. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like,
Dude, I almost got canceled like twice for doing this, man.
it's crazy.
Like you can't go to Florida and come back and think there's not gonna be any consequences, bro. I almost got canceled twice, and I was like, dude, honestly, it was worth it. So fuck.
Dude, those were some of my like funnest times.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Not like going out and partying like that. Like I noticed that like even some of the like they would keep it out of the clubs, but people would like, get together with like close squads of
man.
people and like build big groups of friends really with COVID here at least. But like everywhere else, it just seemed like it was so blocked off that like all we had was people here. So like there wasn't a lot of negativity here for like a while, which was nice. And but it just brought more people here, so everything's expensive as hell now. So it's
Yeah, I mean, I was thankful for Florida because like I was in Colorado and they were like I think in the middle. They weren't like super strict, but they were still strict enough to where like
yeah.
everyone like if you didn't wear a mask, you're part of the problem, and everybody made a big deal. And I'm part of like the beta testing for the COVID vaccine. Like I don't know why like I was vaccinated before all of you. Like I don't understand like why you're
Yeah,
trying
like
to like I'm doing whatever I can.
the rules switch up so much, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's the thing. I come from like a household that's like very geared towards watching the news and like
Hmm.
that shit. So I've always like avoided it. So now that it like came into like public life essentially, because politics got to move through, in my mind,
Hmm.
ladders to actually affect you. But like as of recently, as of last term, like everything's kind of starting to affect more on the day to day.
Yeah.
So I feel myself getting older and like getting into politics in my own
Yeah.
like and like creating my own form of census of what I believe in and like what I'm coming into. And it's like people really just talk. They just
Yeah.
they just want to like they just want to gear towards the internet's reaction to something that they say half the time.
It's so funny because I feel like maybe I was like in the reverse when it came to like my life. When I was like younger, I was way more into politics. Like if somebody said something, that like was part of my own bias, I'm like, oh wow, like you're right. Like, and then I would hype myself up that about politics. This is right. This is right. And I was very like, I think I was like very stubborn about like what I was bringing into like my mind, what I was like taking in as information for politics. But nowadays, I think that I'm just so busy that I haven't even watched the news in months. I don't know what's going on in the world. I can tell you that right now. I had a
Because you
DJ.
got your own goals. It's
I
like
got my own
thinking
shit going on.
it's like everybody's like self-worth advice nowadays and all the everything that you see on everybody's story. Like if you just take your mind out of politics, you can put your energy into so much fucking cool shit. And it's like it's gonna take ladders to affect you. Yeah, it might be affecting us now, but like the government's gonna go up, it's gonna go down, the economy is gonna do that. It's just part of living life. We have to live here. Like, why complain about something that you know is already broken?
Hmm.
You know, like unless you're gonna go out and become a politician
Yeah.
and be the person that fixes the light bulb, like I don't know, it's just like you rely on who you want to rely on, and then you worry about your own personal shit. Put your
And, and
energy
you're
in
and
your
you're and
in
you're
your
right.
craft.
Some people just have so much time in their hands that they just want to complain about something. Dude, I'm
Yeah,
I'm too busy doing so many things. I don't even have the time to complain about something right now that I can't control. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna worry about the
yeah,
shit that I can control.
yeah, correct. And that's like that. You know how many phone calls I'd have to make to get some some sort of law changed or anything like that. Sorry, I was gonna phone call.
I'd have to literally go to Congress. I don't even know what I could do personally. Like, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, when people talk about like, oh, well, you voted for this. Like, how do you know my political standing? First of all, I voted for Kanye. I mean,
let's fucking run
let's run it.
it. Why not?
Fuck it.
Why not? If
What's
the other ones are jokesters, like it's like this one can't be much
what's
less of a
the
jokester.
worst that could happen? I don't know. Let's figure it out. Let's find out.
Imagine, yeah, but like everybody knew Kanye wasn't gonna get elected.
But let's say he did. How funny would that shit been? I mean,
He would have they would have found a way to get him out of there in a second because the government they do everything.
yeah.
They do anything they want. And they would have him out in some sort of way. They'd find some sort of loophole. They found loopholes with everything, but politicals like political things, I never talk about political things unless I'm like with my like true close personal friends that like we yell at each other just talking. Like that, those are the people I'll discuss politics with, and we'll laugh about it at the end.
Yeah, it's funny because like in our I always have I have like a really big rave fam just because of the years of me being a content creator, just being who I am. I have a lot of people that want to hang out with me, so I always open up my home to a lot of people. There's usually like a good like 10 to like sometimes even 20 people in my house, and everyone has their own political standing, man. And then it's just so funny when you see that I have a friend in the very far right and then a friend in the very far left, and they're both in the same house, and they're both just like, oh my God, am I really in the same house as that kind of person?
And then at the end of the day, they're getting all heated over it, right? Yeah. And then you're analyzing it and you're like, you guys are getting so heated about this, but you could have put that energy into like taking out the trash because it's overflowing.
Yeah, literally anything else.
Like that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like but I took that time, like around the time where everybody was very politically focused when they had nothing really to do because they were so locked in their homes and whatnot. I just started making the opposite of EDM music. I just started like trying to learn something absolutely new. I was like, if this is gonna be the time, this is when I'm gonna learn how to make folk music or record bands or like be able to engineer clients. And I started going up to the studio up in Philadelphia. It's called Obsidian. And they're just like a really big like creative family there. And it was like $20 flights to Philly around COVID time.
I miss those days.
It was like I was going on an overnight trip to get a cheesesteak and come home, but like I'd work overnight.
Days, man. Yeah.
So I'd go there and like even like little stuff like this. There's this dude there, he goes by G the Chef. He's like an engineer, he runs his own business, this studio called Obsidian. And I was watching him and just like his energy towards like the clients that are like paying hourly to be in there, especially at like group rates of like 10 people, which is a lot of money for a sit-in. They're trying to get as much songs done as possible. He literally creates that path for them because he like knows how to push them, and he's been recording these kids since they were like 10 years old. Their parents were like bringing them in and stuff, and now they're like 16, 17, hanging out with their boys and recording. But watching him like pump people up, I was like, wow, this is something completely new that had nothing to do with like a technical sense. It was more of like a motivational sense to get the end product perfect. And that helped out a lot with like the next tracks that I made after that, which were like Pling Plong I made after that.
What is like one of your favorite tracks that you've made to this day?
I have like a lot of like unreleased ones that I'm like constantly sitting on.
Yeah.
But they'll all come out. They'll all come out eventually.
Do you think you like those better than what like okay. Do you have any music that you already made that you think is better than what you're making now? Like, is there something like that's like your baby? Like, oh my, you're like really proud.
Pling Plong was crazy.
Yeah.
That was a good song. That was a really like me and Sam are both from Tampa, so it was like we didn't have to get together to like make the song, but I like camped on the stems for a minute because I didn't really have like the best idea. And then like one day I like got off of work at like really late. I was working at a bar and I worked till like 5 a.m. So I just like stayed up, and next thing you know it's like 7 a.m. and I'm like, I'm still not tired. So I'm like
pop another Addy. We good.
No, it comes down to like It comes down to like being wired from work, bro. Working
Yeah.
in bars sucks because you get so wired after. That would just be horrible. You wouldn't sleep for days after that if you started at 7 a.m. rolling over from the night before. No way. But I do catch a lot of sleep nowadays. I used to not catch a lot of sleep.
Sleep is very important, but I also like I used to sleep on the couch because I really sometimes my bed is just too comfortable that I end up oversleeping,
Yeah.
and that's also like really bad. So like I
I
just
don't like oversleeping. I
yeah.
like 5 hours of sleep. It's so weird.
Yeah. So I'm at the like I like 7 hours is my very comfortable zone. If I get more than that or less than that, it's just not good for me, you know. So like
Yeah, I just get groggy.
yeah, and so like
Wake up super groggy.
I overslept today. I had so much shit I needed to do, and like here I am, just like groggy as hell, walking through the house. I'm like I shouldn't have done that. Like here I am though. Okay, so I was gonna ask you, you have unreleased music. Would you mind sharing like who that's with or?
Yeah, I got here, I'm gonna look through right now. I got one with this talented kid from Texas named Malware. He's sick. That's gonna be something that comes out probably like more towards the beginning of next year.
Okay.
Um crazy, crazy producers out in Texas.
Dallas or where?
I don't know where he lives. Maybe Austin, but I
Okay,
think maybe Dallas
because
actually.
Dallas is pretty big on like bass.
Then I have countless ones like that they'll be started ideas and I don't even know if they're collabs anymore, but I collab with my roommate a lot. He goes by Billy the Kid.
Okay.
He's one of he's like one of those sleepers. Like he's about to
Pop off.
when he gets a chance, like he has everything.
Okay.
So it's like impossible.
No, I have I know somebody's it same way, right? They're doing collabs with some really big names, and I was like, when are you releasing that music? And he's like, oh, like when I release it, you'll know, like it's gonna be like back to back songs, and it's gonna be like with a really big name. I'm like, oh shit, okay,
I got one coming out with DJ Afterthought.
okay.
I'm working on one with Sippy. Sippy's the homie. Me and G Rex talked about starting one soon. Me and Freaky got Murder Part 3 coming later in the year, maybe even like in the next couple months.
Where does Freaky live?
North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out Freaky. Freaky's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, I think first time meeting him, I was in Pensacola. It was that he played the event that was supposed to take place instead of what is Thunder Beats Music Festival. So they did like a little block party type thing instead during that weekend.
Yeah, we met at Imagine Music Festival in like 2019, I want to say.
Hmm.
And
That was a good year.
yeah, it was. It might have been 2018. I'm not sure. But the years are just molding at this point. But we met each other there, and then like we just knew each other by like first name basis. We talked the whole night, and then like at the end of the night, he goes, "Bro, do you make music under Plasma?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm Freaky." And me and him talk like every day through Messenger. So I was like, so we've just been like communicating like new faces instead of jumping around and screaming that we finally met each other. And then like we started a track afterwards, like the next week, and it was done within like 2 days. And that song was called Murder, and it was Murder Part 1. And a unique story about that one is I recorded the pre-drop vocal on a on the voice memos on my phone 2 weeks before EDC Orlando 2019. So yeah, it was 2019. And I'm walking through the crowd, Excision's playing. I'm leaving because I have to open an after party. So I had to like leave early. Like none of my friends came.
Fuck. I mean, obviously though, like
Yeah, they wanted to stay. They wanted to stay for another one of Excision sets. But anyway, I'm thank God they held me there for as long as possible because I was walking through the crowd. I got my keys in my hand. I'm borderline sober, and then like I'm like looking up at the stage, and I just heard like some unique frequency that just seemed so familiar. and it was like the build to the song that I like recorded on the pre-drop vocal on my phone, and I was playing Excision. He was playing Prime Time on Saturday night, and I was like, no fucking way. And then the pre-drop played, and I was just like, I didn't even send this to Excision, like Freaky did.
That's
And
so
then
funny.
yeah, and Freaky sent it, and Freaky didn't even know what was going on. And then it wound up being like the biggest video from that set for him. And it was like something that it didn't really go viral on Twitter, but like it definitely got us more like traction than we originally had. So it gave us the push to like really want to put it out. So we signed it to like a small label out of Texas called Hybrid Trap. And then with that, some paperwork issues started going down, and we wanted to release a second version of the track because we had made like another one like a few months later.
Yeah.
So we started shopping around to other labels, and Subsidia wound up picking up part 2. Now part 3, we don't even have signed, so we might even just put that one out ourselves if we're feeling like it, because we have so much other music. Like we just gotta get stuff out. With labels, it takes time. With labels, it could be like a 6-month wait.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like I could be dying to sign a Deadbeats, but Deadbeats might not have an offer until July of next year.
Huh. I know that.
Their schedules are so planned ahead.
It's always cool seeing like your friends like music live, because like, you know, even though you probably like, you know, you all know you could recognize your own beats and stuff like that, right? But it's like it's funny because like a lot of your friends, like they listen to your music too, and it's so funny how like your memory works, where like you're just like sitting like when I was like on I think it was like an Excision set, and then like I just hear Space Water by Drinking Water. I'm like, wait, I know this song. Like, wait, hold on. And it's just like
Yeah.
a really cool feeling knowing that you know your friend's song, you know, like, hey, like you could catch on. Like no one needs to tell you. It's like,
Yeah.
that's
That's
badass.
that was always the thing. Like remember how I was talking about earlier, like where you devote your time into?
Mm-hmm.
If you devote your time into learning how to make music and being like the sound tech guy and the guy like that sits in his room and just like makes music and does all that, it turns into making tracks that are going to be playable by these big artists.
Yeah.
So then you're starting to like process elimination competition in your brain, and now you're linking up with people that are all like, yo, you got a certain email? Oh, I got this guy's email. If you want to send him a pack, I know you're going to send him good tunes anyway. Like, yada, yada. So you start like having groups of friends like that. And that was like Drink Your Water, Fargo,
Yeah.
VRG. He was one that was always just sending around. He was always getting shit played. And I was just like, dude, I really like fuck with that. Like I want to have as many. I was hoping my shit would get leaked on Reddit. It would be a win for me. It
That'd
would
be
still be
fun.
a win for me right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, hey, y'all heard him. Go to Plasma SoundCloud right now. Link that shit on Reddit.
someone hit a bot on my hit a bot on my computer real quick.
I mean, and then now, I mean, now you're going on tour with you know, Blunts and Blondes.
Yeah, I spent every day with him though, so it's like it's just cool to catch like some different scenery other than like the 4 walls that we share, just making music and playing video games
So
every day.
how did that whole friendship start?
Mike hit me up like a long time ago. We were just both DJs in the area. He was like a house DJ, but
Oh, he was?
yeah, he started as a house DJ at like this bar at St. Leo, the college that he went to.
Uh,
And that was like 30 minutes away, 30, 45 minutes away from like Ybor, where all the shit happens. But he started playing like clubs in Channelside and stuff from what I know. And then like he hit me up one day after he had played the amphitheater, the club that burned down.
yep.
Um and he was becoming the resident, and he was like, bro, I got a lot of people like believing in me. I got a lot of people like creating this as like a fucking team effort, and I think it's like fucking cool. He's like, but it's moving so fast. I know you make a lot of music, like let's hang out and like catch each other's vibes, and like maybe share each other's ideas, and maybe you can teach me some things because I'm hella weak on certain areas. And I helped him simplify it, as well as another friend of ours. Like we were all just hanging out all the time, just teaching each other different shit. And it got to the point where like Mike started feeling more confident about his like stuff. and we had this thing called a beat cipher. And this beat cipher was we were already like hanging out and smoking all day. We were just like finding different stuff to keep us geared into working, and we did this beat cipher thing. Our boy Taylor Lace, he's a resident at the Ritz here in Tampa.
Okay.
He organized this cipher where we chose a sample every day, and you got to make at least a minute loop of something musically with that sample, and you would do it 31 days, and whoever got 31 days got like maybe like a sample pack prize.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just like it's an exercise mainly than a competition. So like you start to, like, sometimes I'd only have an hour before work to like make some of these minute ideas. So, or minute, yeah, these minute and a half ideas. And I would just like try to rush it, but like I wouldn't try to rush it. I'd try to just like work against myself every single day. And every single day you start to notice that you start to get better and better, like in the time. And in that sense, Lance made like a lot of shit that he still plays out like a lot in that like 31-day span. And it was like remixes, like the da 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 da. Like, he made that shit. He would make that stuff, and it would just be like something that he would submit as a demo, and he was just like, you know what, I like playing that. And then we just hang out so much. But I had to. He was going, you know, like on tour and stuff. So I would like use his studio, and I would just kind of like catch his space and kind of get used to the room, because I knew we were always hanging out anyway. We might as well get as much work.
Does he have a studio like at his place, or is it like an actual like a office space?
He was in an apartment complex for a long time, and then he lives in a house now. I live in a house as well, and me and my roommate just built a studio with like a full-blown booth and everything.
Yeah, that's what I ended up just doing here. I was doing podcasts like in the living room, and then like some of them even in my bedroom and stuff, because I had like a big bedroom. But we took down this like office that's in the house, and we're still just renovating some of it, but like we turned it into like a podcast media room.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, man, like that's cool, because like I'm hoping to have like maybe like a couch here and have like more things going on, make it more like homey to like the podcast scene, I guess.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, so like we just like he would like, for instance, one night I'm working on edits because I had a show like in like 2 days or something. And I just wanted to throw like little light stuff together. But like I was always like, damn, what if it like bombs out live, right?
Right.
So I'd have Mike, who I'd be with every day. There were times where I was up with him until 3, 4 in the morning, so I could drive him to his flight to go play Red Rocks. And like I had like 3 or 4 that I started the night before that were like work in progresses or something, and he would just like play them out. He'd just be like at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting here like looking at Instagram stories, and I was just like, dude, people really will never believe that like all this shit was made in like a 3-hour span, and then just played out at one of the most iconic venues in America. And that's where I was just like, this shit is easy. You can make anything better tomorrow. And that's where it like the next level started hitting for me, because Mike was the one that told me that, because I started working on a song. I wanted to get it perfect for one of his sets, and he goes, bro, it was perfect before you started touching it more. So like, how about you just move on and accept that you're gonna make something better tomorrow? And I was just like, all right, cool. So I just told myself that every day. And next thing you know, that like tomorrow is like the big hits that are out, like Pling Plong and Murder and all the other ones that like everybody enjoys. I have an EP out. It's not hitting too hard on the numbers right now, but this EP was just like something that like was me completely.
Yeah.
But I got a few remixes coming out this year that are gonna be crazy.
I do love that you said it's like, you know, it was good before you started touching it more. Because sometimes it's like we feel like we gotta like do more to something that's already probably honestly as good as it's gonna get, you know?
Exactly. It's like just like it's like constantly caking on shoe polish. You know, shoe polish only takes a little bit. And it's like at that point you just make it muddy and like
too much. Too much is too much.
Yeah.
But
It's along the way, it like having friendship with Mike has helped out a lot because I get to see like, not that I viewed any like big mistakes that they like made, but like if there's stuff that he maybe would have done different if given a second opportunity, like in like a business standpoint or something. Now I know, and I have that like marked in my head for when if I get to that, if and when I get to that point, you know.
Or he'll even tell you, you know what I mean? Like, cause
Yeah,
that's
he's
what I do
really
with a lot
good
of my
about that.
friends. That's what I do with like a lot of my friends. I'm like, listen, man, I've been through this road. I'm telling you right now how it's gonna go down.
Yeah. And it's like he was just very like straightforward with me with that for a while. And you know, we just have our clique of homies that just like we all have like the same tendencies with making music and stuff, and like we all have like a better idea in a certain time, and we just all help each other out like a lot, which is really cool. And I wish it would have been like more of like a collective thing, because we do have like a lot of homies that like we truly, truly, truly fucking believe in, and we want to make it like a family thing. But like, it's like there's so many of them like just starting and starting and starting and starting. Unless it comes from the ground up, it's like this really needs to come from the ground up. But you never know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll probably happen.
But you know, this whole tour thing you guys got going on, like I saw that, and I was like, damn, like the whole squad is gonna be in there. That's so cool. It's always like I was thinking about like you guys just being all together, and it's like this is just gonna be like a friends like travel group. We're just
You want to know something crazy? You want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
So if you look at this, hold on, this flyer for the tour. So at this tour flyer, right?
Yeah.
You have Yuki, Benda, Drink Your Water, PLSMA, Space Wizard, and Blunts and Blondes, and Liney. I saved Liney for last because everybody on this goddamn tour will attest that Liney is probably one of the better producers of now, like futuristic wise. He's just always on point with his sound. I don't know. I like his music a lot, and I know that a lot of people love his music. So, and he's like really young, so it's like really cool to see like where his progression is going to be throughout time, because everybody's just like, we're all making music and stuff, but like I listen to Lonnie tunes and I'm like, fuck, I gotta go back in the studio. It sucks. It sucks, but it's like, yo, you can bounce off your friends in that aspect, and then that's where like those little tendencies of things that you like to do different, like putting the kick on a different line or some shit. That's where you make it you. You use the foundation of a different thought process, and then you can join it all to yours.
Is there any place on this list that you're pretty excited to see for the first time?
All of them. Just because I haven't left the time zone.
Yeah.
so like, dude, I haven't even been an hour out of our time zone. So
I'm trying to see if I know any.
I'm starting the tour with Minneapolis, Minnesota Skyway Theater.
Okay.
A venue that is crazy. Like, how the hell is that the first stop? That's an iconic venue for especially this stuff and all music in general. And then like,
oh, you guys finishing off with Mission Ballroom, huh, in Denver?
I'm not on Mission Ballroom.
Oh, okay.
I wish. That would be crazy, but one day.
Yeah, Mission Ballroom is a great venue. It's huge.
Yeah, Mission Ballroom looks sick.
Are you going to the House of Blues in Anaheim?
No, so I'm playing 3 California dates though. I'm playing Arcata.
Okay.
11/3, Santa Cruz 11/4, and then Chico, California, up in like Humboldt County on the 5th. So it's like they're back. We're just.
I mean, if you guys go by Santa Cruz, man, they have a boardwalk there. really cool stuff.
I heard Santa Cruz is gonna be fire.
Yeah.
They told me Santa Cruz is nuts.
Yeah, so I was born there, and like it's just beautiful, man. Santa Cruz is it's definitely like if you guys make the extra time, definitely just try to venture out and do something there because it's there's a lot of like random stuff that happens. I one day went to like the boardwalk in Santa Cruz, and they had like a whole circus on the beach.
That's
it's just some
cool.
crazy shit that just happens. So
That's cool. Yeah, it sounds really. I'm
you're
very
gonna love it,
pumped.
man.
I've never seen that side of the country, so it's like it's
The
gonna
whole
be. I love history too. I'm like a huge history buff, so if I see any like museums and shit, like it's gonna like make me wanna at least think about stopping in. But like at that, probably not. Probably gonna be making music on my laptop.
Yeah.
Smoking a few backwoods.
Yeah, I mean, also like if you're out with everybody, like, hey, y'all trying to go to a museum?
Yo, y'all try to like yo. So here's an idea.
I mean, okay, so I actually did do that. Not like I'm thinking of like, wow, what an idea, but it's actually pretty funny. I was in Germany for 2 weeks, and one day I was like, oh, I think I want to go to the Holocaust Museum. Go to like like some real shit, and like
Yeah,
honestly, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I busted my face open, but because I was driving on a scooter drunk. But like, the whole museum was fun. Got to see the Berlin Wall, like the actual Berlin Wall. It
that's
was fucking
cool.
sick.
Kevin Flum, drink your water from Germany.
I think we talked about that.
Yeah,
I just
he was born and raised. I asked him the other day. I was like, "Yo, do you think in German?" He goes, "Yeah, I say your name in German almost every day."
Oh, I love Kevin, man.
It's like it's a very small industry, man.
Yeah, man.
Like for instance, my I have a tour manager now. His name is Carlos. He's one of my homies like that I grew up with. He like left the state for a little bit for like 3 years. Um, we weren't really on like speaking terms before he left, but then I ran into him one night, like probably 4 or 5 years later, and we're just hanging out. And he goes, "Yo, I heard you DJ now." And he's like, "I'm trying to come out and like buy a bottle." It's just how he is. He's just a very
Yeah.
materialistic guy, and he's just like. He's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to go out." And then he started becoming friends with like everybody that was like out and about, like with me. But then he started taking it a step further and like learning. And then he got the bug, and now he's my TM. But like, but but that's the thing. He's one of those people that like knows that you got to invest your time, your money, and your effort into something that you want to do. He got the bug. So now he TMs for like blunts on occasion too, because Alex Shambach was someone that showed him some stuff. But it's like it's crazy to think that like he would call me up and he'd be like, "Yo, so like, do you need me to send your music to like this person, this person, this person, this person?" I'm like, "How do you know them?" And he's like, "Oh, we were fucking kicking in the lobby drinking grenades in New Orleans last week." I'm like,
it's such a small world, bro.
I was like, bro, those guys don't even answer my email.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, consider it done." I was just like, "Wow, you really just fell into this one." Like we would have never expected him to get into this at all.
Yeah, it's just so cool though. Like
And he just loved it.
It's so cool that he's watching your back. It's always nice to have people in the world, man, that like care about you enough to even give you a call and be like, "Hey, man, I know that you're gonna go places. Let me help you." That means a lot.
Yeah, he's the man with that. He was one of my first friends when I moved here.
That's dope, man. You got any like festivals coming up that you're playing at?
Imagine Music Festival. I play on Saturday. I don't know exactly what time yet though.
I mean, I'm gonna be there the whole 4 days, man. I gotta.
Yeah.
So, dude, that's gonna be such a family reunion, though. Like, I mean, everyone who's playing, I'm like,
I'm gonna be exhausted for Lost Lands the next week.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm doing
Lost Lands is even fucking rowdier though. Lost Lands is killer.
Yeah,
like that place is too much fun. It's almost too much fun. You come back and you're like, "I'm never going to a festival like that ever this year again."
I've never been. So it was my first time.
So cool.
One of my friends bought me a ticket, and he's like, "Hey, man, I just really want you to come with us." So he's like, he gave me a ticket, and then And then later on, I get a job opportunity to work for, for the festival. I'm like, oh shoot, I'll just work
Hell
the
yeah.
event. So I'm like, now I have like an extra, well, it's not my ticket to give out, but now like, no, I have this extra ticket if like the whole working thing doesn't work out, but like I'm just gonna take Los Angeles easy, man, because I kind of want to go a little harder on for Imagine, only because like there's so much family there, like like there's so many people that I know in Imagine that I'm like, I don't want to like not have a drink with you guys, you know what I mean? Like
like, I love Atlanta was a weird one, right? Because like you gotta fight through your local politics, right? There's people that I call like homies now that I've like known better on an occasion that like have like they've been wanting to win for themselves, like at that level, like when we were younger and shit. Yeah. But like as that time kind of just like floated up upon that way, like it was just very easy to remember a face more than a name. So the networking capabilities of that in general and these festivals are like really good for that, but can also be damaging if you take them into your personal life sometimes. Because some people, well, they'll start dating people that also work in the industry, and then like that person lives in Cali and this person lives in Atlanta, and they think it's like fucking, or like Idaho to Florida or some shit like that. And just because they see each other maybe once a month at a music festival that they're both working at, like sometimes I'm not even talking about anything specific, like that happens with DJs and people that work the door, like it happens all over. So it's like, if you really like are in it for the business, like stay in it for the business, because once you start mixing it, it starts like dude, there's sometimes I mix it in certain ways too, where it's like if I played a string of shows and I was having 2 beers before my sets to loosen up, and then like on my off day I was having 2 beers, well, I wouldn't typically have 2 beers on my off day. So that's where I could be like, all right, this is kind of like, can't let that shit slip. You gotta monitor yourself.
Yeah, man.
Not get caught up with the wrong ideas and habits, taking it into your personal life, taking it into your day to day.
Yeah, I've given myself like a rule. Sometimes it's just like, I think maybe for me, I guess maybe DJs do it with like whenever they're gonna play a set, right? That whole day, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have like 1 beer max. I do that rule with like whenever I'm recording or doing my whole content stuff. It's like, oh, I don't want to lose my camera, so I don't want to like, and that's like the mindset I get into. So I'm just not gonna drink or get fucked up today. And then like I always give myself like one day to actually like let loose and just go GA, just be in the crowd and just get wasted.
Yeah, I mean, we're the masters of that, really, because there's always a time. That's why me and Mike and our friend Taylor and Jared Toucan's from Orlando too. We would all like go to festivals, and like our homie Sutton too, like all these, they had like a house collective at one point that Mike was a part of. Like we all still have like the same friends. So like we'll be backstage getting drinks or something, maybe after Mike's set. But like there's always a 75% chance Mike's gonna grab me by the shoulder and be like, bro, you want to camp middle crowd right now? Like I'm down. Like let's fucking go. And I'm like, sure, let's go. And then we go in there and we're just like, I'm not dressed for this. But like it's so fun like to catch that, especially if you like if like he was like, yo, let's go catch RL Grime like in the pit. And I was just like, yeah, like let's go. But
I see
if
a lot. I love it when I see like on their stories, like the DJs, it's just like in the middle of the crowd. I know Taboo does it a lot. He just loves being like dead center GA and just fucking, having fun.
Mitch isn't yeah, Taboo is I haven't met Taboo.
Yeah, no, he's I met
Over
him.
the years, like internet relationships, like I've met a lot of people. It just that like it all comes down to like making your moves within like a certain window and time of period.
Yeah.
So like if you're just like, if you just remain friends with everybody and you just collect friends along the ways, like you're gonna eventually prove yourself to be able to maybe push it towards a certain way, or like try to get a collab from someone. Like at least you put in the work. like over time and remained a good person up until that point, didn't embarrass yourself, didn't do anything stupid or say anything dumb, like it opens up so much room for when you're actually like starting to catch your capability of your talent. And like someone like Taboo, like 3 years ago, I wouldn't have wanted to meet Taboo. You would think my music would probably be trash.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, if I met Taboo, like I got songs that like I think Taboo would bump. So I was like, so I'm enjoying the fact that like there's like a handful of people that I haven't met that I can like show my tunes to, that they can be on board too. So
I actually connected one of my friends with to Taboo, because Taboo was looking for something specific, and I was like, oh shoot, like I got the perfect dude. So I threw him. I threw my friend at him. My friend, he's not like he's not like, he's a magician, but he doesn't like. I think he's a little too shy to either like put himself out there, and he like backed out, and he goes, oh, I just don't have like the studio equipment and this and that. Like, bro, like just give Taboo something. Like he wants to just hear what you got, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's all about the.
it's all I mean, it's all just like having fun with your friends and like lightly outdoing your friends, like just having friendly competition with your friends, and like embracing that suck.
Yeah,
Embracing that suck is like the biggest
suck.
thing, bro. Because I was like, I'm doing everything that the video told me to do, but like you still suck. Like you didn't apply any of that to your own thought pattern process at all. And you're just like thinking that like copying a diagram is gonna get you a result that you want. And a lot of people will do that for years. They'll flip through like pre-made templates to try to catch a groove, which is fine to like build, but like after a while you start getting comfortable and stuff, and it's teaching yourself how to maneuver and try different things to get the goal quicker.
All right, brother. So where can people find you? What's your IG handles? You got Twitter, you got TikToks. You be doing TikToks, bro?
Not really. I should though, because I have a nice Snapchat personality with like my friends, but like,
do you actually have a YouTube? Like, do you like put up? I mean, there's some artists that like they'll put like them making music for like an hour and they'll throw that shit like on YouTube just so people can learn. And it's like
I'm about to start doing Patreon.
Okay.
Patreon's gonna be like my main fortress for that kind of stuff soon. YouTube is gonna be more for like down the road a little bit. For like visual art. I got this whole plan with my music that involves Easter eggs and like people trying to figure out stuff. So like,
oh, okay, gotcha.
So with that, like I'll probably use YouTube to like make that a thing, and then keep everything else a little separate and just do like little clips of whatever it might be that I want to show off for my YouTube.
Okay.
But like Plasma app PLSMA.tv. Funny story. I left out an A in Plasma because it looked cool. So it reads Please Ma. But do you know who Heritage is?
Yeah, actually I do.
Yeah, Heritage is another fire producer. Like we've all made music and learned together at like the same time. And he goes to me, he goes, yo, have you ever like rearranged the letters in your name? And I was like, nah. He goes, you know, if you rearrange it, it says Psalm, like PSALM.
Yeah.
Like the book
Bible.
of Psalm.
Yep.
Yeah, like the book of Psalm, the Old Testament. And I was like, huh, that's weird. If I would have never spelled the word wrong, like that would have never happened. But listen to this. I go on to Google and I look up the book of Psalms, and it's the book of songs. It's Greek mythology for musician master or something like that. So that's where it was like, how the fuck did that happen? To the point where it's so back-ended and means so much to the actual like purpose of why I created the name. By accident, I dropped an A, and if I would have kept the A in there, like it would have never did any of that. But then you just jumble it up, and now you're the Greek mythology for music.
And you said it's a .tv. Why the TV?
Because that's just like my whole like branding thing. I'm doing like TVs. I always struggled with like trying to find like a brand option. Like a lot of people like give me blood or like lightning, like, and I don't know, it just never seemed interesting. It just always seemed boring as hell. And I was just like, well, I can do anything if I put it on a TV, but it's the aesthetic that you control. but it's the aesthetic you control. So I like a lot of pop art and like 50 cigarette ads and shit. Like I love the way that they're like fainted in color, and that's where a lot of like, if you look at Wiz Khalifa's new album cover, it's gonna be shit like that. Like, but I'm gonna try to make animations out of it eventually.
But also like TVs used to be made of plasma.
True.
So
that's just another fact. It's like it all like works. It's weird. I find out shit every day. Wait until like you see the concept of like when I can start pouring like a good amount of funds into this. The idea that I have like long term for it is gonna be crazy, but the people that like figure it out, it's gonna be like really cool stuff, because every time I go see an artist, I go see Ricky Remedy play, and I'd hear him play like, I'd hear him use like a vocal that he used in another song, but he'd edit it on top of like a popular song that's out. And I thought that was so cool that like they kept their own flavor added to that stuff and just always had their own sound. Like they would always build their own sound. So sometimes I'll do that in my stuff. I'll make memorable stuff for people to listen to and be like, huh, that happens every song. And then like little stuff like that, you'll see it in like the visual art and stuff. It's gonna be crazy. I can't wait to execute it. It actually gives me like a lot of really good thought for the future, as opposed to just standing still.
Yeah, and also like gives you a lot of like creative flow, you know, something to work with.
Yeah, it's like a template, a guideline here, because now I can sample movies, I can sample like things of context that relate to TV, like static, and I can make the whole vibe kind of sit on that.
Are you still there? I think you froze.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, we froze for a second.
It's all good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put all your information down below. I usually just put like, sometimes I'll put like your SoundCloud and your Spotify sometimes on there as well, just like so everyone has like a good range of, because then there's the watches on YouTube, and YouTube has like those links available and stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a song coming out next week. I haven't really announced it yet. When is this dropping?
I could either drop this weekend or next weekend. Totally up to
I'm
you.
dropping a track next Thursday.
So it'd be like next Friday. I could do it next Friday and then put your new song on there.
Yeah. And then with that, it's a remix to a Two Door Cinema Club song.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and put that one on there. That way, like, since when it releases the next day, it'll be on this podcast to announce, and it'll be in the description down below.
Absolutely.
That'll be dope. All right, man. Well, thanks so much for coming through, man. I'm glad we were able to do this.
Good talking.
Awesome. So that was Plasma. Go ahead and give him a follow, give him a like if you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys actually did like the podcast and you guys continue to keep watching the podcast, I would appreciate it if you guys just share it on your like Instagram story, or just, you know, pass it on to a friend. Word of mouth really does help with these kind of situations. So the video version for this podcast is available on YouTube. I tried looking it up on Spotify. I couldn't see the video file pull up. I mean, I uploaded it as an MP4, so I don't really know what's going on with that. It is what it is. But, you know, it is available on YouTube, and then the audio version is available on most like major streaming platforms. I got like Amazon Music, I got SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Am I missing one? I don't know. The link's in the bio if you guys are interested. Maybe there's like a specific, if there's a specific one that you guys got, and you know, I gotta throw it into that platform, let me know. Just write in a comment something, I'll figure it out. But okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and like I say at every episode, I will catch y'all at the next one.